Job 34.
Elihu answered, "Listen to my words, you wise men. Hear me, you learned men. For the ear assesses words as the mouth tastes foods. Let us evaluate for ourselves what is right. Let us come to know among ourselves what is good. For Job says, I am innocent, but God turns away my right. Concerning my right, should I lie? My wound is incurable, although I am without transgression. Who is there like Job, who drinks derision like water? He goes about in company with evildoers. He goes along with wicked men. For he says, it does not profit a man when he makes his delight with God. Therefore, listen to me, you men of understanding. Far be it from God to do wickedness, for the Almighty to do evil. For he repays a person for his work, and according to the conduct of a person, he causes the consequences to find him. Indeed, in truth, God does not act wickedly. The Almighty does not pervert justice. Who entrusted to him the earth? Who put him over the whole world? If if God were to set his heart on it and gather in his spirit and his breath, all flesh would perish together, and human beings would return to dust. If if you have any understanding, listen to this. Hear what I have to say. Do you really think that one who hates justice can govern? And will you declare guilty the supremely righteous one, who says to the king, worthless man, and to nobles, wicked men, who shows no partiality to princes, and does not take note of the rich man, rich more than the poor, because all of them are the work of his hands. In a moment they die in the middle of the night. People are shaken, and they pass away. They might be removed effortlessly. For his eyes are on the ways of an individual. He observes all persons' steps. There is no darkness, and no deep darkness, where evildoers can hide themselves. For he does not still consider a person, that he should come before God in judgment. He shatters the great without injury, and sets up others in their place. Therefore, he knows their deeds. He overthrows them in the night, and they are crushed. He strikes them for their wickedness in a place where people can see, because they have turned away from following him, and have not understood anything of his ways, so that they caused the cry of the poor and come before him, so that he hears the cry of the needy. But if if God is quiet, who can condemn him? If if he hides his face, then who can see him? Yet he is over the individual and the nation alike, so that the godless man should not rule, and not lay snares for the people. Has anyone said to God, I have endured chastisement, but I will not act wrongly any more? Teach me what I cannot see. If if I have done evil, I will do so no more. Is it your opinion that God should recompense it because you rejected this? But you must choose, and not I, so tell us what you know. Men of understanding say to me, any wise man listening to me says, that Job speaks without knowledge, and his words are without understanding. But Job will be tested to the end, because his answers are like those of wicked men. For he adds transgression to his sin, and in the midst he claps his hands, and multiplies his words against God. Elihu, if you don't remember, is the young man who stood around waiting, listening to all of Job's three friends be able to say something, and then he's upset because they let Job have the last word and they couldn't refute Job, and they did a poor job, and he's going to say, let me explain it to you. You guys don't understand. Job is 100% wrong. Job is lying that he's done nothing wrong. So he's going to say, listen to my words, you wise men. Hear me, you learned men. He's accusing Job's friends here. He is attacking them. For the ear assesses words and the mouth tastes food. Like, hey, dude, did you not hear what he said? Like, you need to use your brain to hear what he said. Let us evaluate for ourselves what is right. Let us come to knowledge among ourselves what is good. See if there's something in here for the footnotes. Choose after careful examination. Okay, that sounds better than evaluate for ourselves. The word mishpat, again, the sense of what is right or just. Okay, so yeah, that sounds a whole lot better than let us evaluate. Like, let's make up our own minds. No, let's examine it and it will tell us what is right. For Job says, I am innocent, but God turns away from my right. So Job makes a claim he is innocent. He is righteous. This can't be true. Concerning my right, should I lie? My wound is incurable, although I am without transgression. So he is quoting what Job says, and he's going, seriously, do you believe this? Are you buying this? Are you buying this lie? Like, what evil person ever admits that they've done it? I mean, this would be like just going into the modern prison system and going to death row and finding out how many of the innocent people there, or the people on death row, claim to be innocent. Wouldn't almost every single one of them claim to be innocent? I did nothing wrong. I was framed. Like, that's what happens when you get caught. You deny, deflect, and do not take ownership of what you've done. He's like, do you guys not get that's what Job's doing? Job's not being honest. He's lying. It's better than God gave you 2 ears and a mouth for a reason. Yeah, it is better. It is better than that. Who is there like Job, who drinks derision like water, who goes about in company with evildoers? He goes along with wicked men. Who's like Job? For he says, it does not profit a man when he makes his delight in God. So he is saying, this is what Job actually says to himself. He's not telling us this. This is the true thing that Job says. Therefore, I know who Job really is. So listen to me, you men of understanding. Far be it from God to do wickedness, for the Almighty to do evil, for him to repay a person for his work and to act according to the conduct of a person. He causes the consequence to find him. If he is being punished and God is doing it, then he is evil. You can't have it any other way. A equals A. That's how we have it. Oh, wait, you mean A plus B equals C? Yeah. But what if it's A plus A equals C? How does that work? Okay. So he's making an argument. Job's friends, you did it wrong. Just straight up call Job a liar. That's what I'm going to do. Job's lying. He's not righteous. He's not honest. He's a liar. He got caught. He got punished. He's lying. Indeed, in truth, God does not act wickedly, and the Almighty does not pervert justice. He's saying, Job, your accusation that God is doing this without cause causes you to say God is wicked, causes you to say the Almighty is perverting justice. I don't believe God perverts justice, so you must be the liar. Rather than understanding that there are other options out there than God being the cause of evil and someone else doing the testing and bringing the evil about. Who entrusted to him the earth? Who put him over the world? So he's going to even know to make the claim of who gave God power and authority. Oh, that's right. God's the only one with power and authority. If God were to set his heart on it and gather in his spirit and his breath, all flesh will perish together and human beings would return to dust. Like, if God wanted it, we're done that quick. All of it. If you have understanding, listen to this. Hear what I have to say. Do you really think that one who hates justice can govern? So Job isn't in charge anymore because he hates justice. So that's why his power and all of his might was taken away, because he hates justice. And will you declare guilty the supremely righteous one? You're going to declare God to be guilty of what happened, Job? Friends, are you going to accept Job's accusation that God did this in the wrong? Who says to a king, worthless man, or to nobles, wicked men, who shows no partiality to princes, who does not take note of the rich man more than the poor, because all of them are the work of his hands. So God shows no partiality because everyone is a work of his hands. The rich man, the poor man, created by God. God pays no attention to rich or poor because he made you both. So it's not that this, whippersnapper, upstart, youngin doesn't have some truth intermingled here. He just has not believed that Job is righteous, and he thinks outcome equals proof of having done wrong, which, boy, isn't that a harsh view of the world if every time something bad happens to you, it's a result of you having done something bad? Like, how would you walk around in fear of trying to do things then? Oh, yeah. And how about, let's read scripture. Daniel thrown in the lion's den. What did he do wrong? He was obedient in praying. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. What did they do wrong? They wouldn't bow down to Nebuchadnezzar. So it's like, hello, we've got biblical examples. Now, depending on when Job is written, and then we're not applying it to the other places, but I'm just saying those of us from the outside of the book of Job can see how wrong this viewpoint is. For his eyes are on the ways of the individual. He observes all persons' steps. There is no darkness and no deep darkness where evildoers can hide themselves. For he does not still consider a person that he should come before God in judgment. So God can see everything. There's not something you can hide from God. He shatters the great without injury and sets up others in their place. So, like, if somebody's done wrong, God can take them down. It doesn't matter how great they are. They can't stand before God. Nobody's as powerful as God. If he takes someone down, he overthrows them in the night. He knows their deeds, so they are crushed. So the proof that you did wrong is your current state. Again, that is faulty thinking. That is faulty thinking. He strikes them for their wickedness in a place where people can see. So the reason this is happening to you is so everybody can see how wicked you are, Job. That's what's happening. Because they have turned away from following him and have not understood any of his ways, so that they cause the cry of the poor to come before him, so that he hears the cry of the needy. So you have obviously oppressed the poor. God is responding to the cry of all those people you've wronged, Job. That's why this is happening to you. But if, if God is quiet, who can condemn him? If he hides his face, then who can see him? Yet he is over the individual and the nation alike, so that the good, godless man should not rule and not lay snares for people. So if God is quiet, if God hides his face, then injustice is going to be there. So God's going to take you down, Job, which he's doing. Has anyone said to God, I have endured chastisement, but I will not act wrongly anymore? Teach me that I cannot see what I cannot see, and if I have done evil, I will do it no more. Has anyone ever said this to God? I repent. I won't do it again. This is what you need to do, Job. This is what you need to do. Is it your opinion that God should recompense it because you reject this? But you must choose, and not I. So tell us what you know, men of understanding. Say to me. Any wise man listening to me says that Job speaks without knowledge and his words are without understanding. So, Job, you clearly don't see. You have no knowledge. You are the one who has messed up. There's no other option there. But Job will be tested to the end because his answers are like those of wicked men. So Job just sounds like everybody that's on death row who claims they didn't do anything wrong. So, obviously Job claiming to have done nothing wrong means he actually did it. Is that really good? That's how we're going to logic this? That's how we're doing it. The fact that he claims to have done no wrong is very proof that he indeed did it. Okay. For he adds transgression to sin in our midst. He clasps his hands and multiplies his words against God. So he is clasping his hands together. He is in the midst of us. Everything we see, the more. He's just digging the hole deeper, Job. You're digging the hole deeper. Actually, Elihu, it's you. It's you who do not understand. You who cannot comprehend that an innocent person could have bad things happen to them. You mean bad things happen to good people? Yes, bad things happen to good people. Just as the rain falls on the just and the unjust, bad happens to both the just and the unjust. There's not a division there. Job